I can't do much of a lead into this one. It's just too stupid.
Critical of President Biden and his family's foreign business dealings. You supported an impeachment inquiry as a result of it. Are you equally concerned about President Trump's family's business dealings, especially given the fact that he is in a region now where his family has billions of dollars of investments in Doha and Saudi Arabia, and the fact that he has a crypto business now where he's auctioned off access to the White House for the highest bidder in his meme coin?
Look, there are authorities that
I will say, like, this has got to be an incredibly frustrating time to be a liberal reporter who's part of any press pool in or around the White House Capitol building, because, like, assuming you're not a hack, right? Like, you're a liberal, you have real opinions, you believe in real things. How do you even begin to grapple with the level of corruption from this administration? Like, how do you, like, it's really like the emperor has no clothes situation, except instead of it just being one march, it's like you're constantly asking over and over again, like, can you explain to us why the emperor is naked? And you never get a straight answer, and you just do that for at least 4 years until they execute you for asking the question. At least it's I don't like because you have to wonder from their perspective, what is the point of asking the question? Anyone who's paying attention already knows Trump is obscenely corrupt, like easily the most corrupt president in American history, the most corrupt politician, inarguably, right? And everyone around him. And yet, like, there are lots of people who don't believe that, and you will never convince them. I was just saying, I don't sympathize. Or no, I do sympathize. I'm glad I'm not in their position. I can't talk. I don't know.
Police executive branch ethics rules. I'm not an expert in that. My expertise is here in the House. Okay, I will say that the reason many people refer to the Bidens as the Biden crime family is because they were doing all this stuff behind curtains, but in the back rooms. They were trying to conceal it, and they repeatedly lied about it, and they set up shell companies, and the family was all engaged and getting all on the dole. Whatever the President Trump is doing is out in the open. They're not trying to conceal anything.
Like I said, if you're in their position, it really is like, what do you even say to that? Hey, how can you call Trump corrupt? His corruption is so open and flagrant. It's not like he's hiding anything. So I know people have a short memory, including myself. So just to be clear, the reason they said the Biden crime family, like, overwhelmingly, there's like a million fake accusations, but the overwhelming one is that Hunter Biden was given cushy, high-paying, do-nothing jobs that were very obviously an attempt by foreign governments like China to access Biden through him. You know, like that was clearly the intent. The idea was like, well, if we enrich Biden's family by giving his son a really cushy job, like maybe that gives us an inroad to talk to the US president, like directly and discreetly. The problem is, despite like a billion inquiries and years of investigation, no evidence has actually been found that Biden ever contacted or talked with or you know, had a liaison with anyone on account of his son's job. It looks like Hunter Biden just took the opportunity to get a cushy job, which, you know, go king, right? Got to pay for the cocaine and prostitutes somehow. Yeah, there's nothing to it. To even begin to compare it to what Trump has done is ludicrous, but it is funny that this is the first excuse that Mike Johnson defaulted to.
But Mr. Speaker, the investment in the meme coin, those folks
also up that this journalist interrupted Mike Johnson in this phenomenal answer.
Whatever the President Trump is doing is out in the open. They're not trying to conceal anything.
But Mr. Speaker,
like, just let him talk, man. He was onto something there. He was cooking.
The investment in the meme coin, those folks are not transparent. We do not know who those people are.
I don't know anything about the meme coin thing. I don't know. I can just tell you that, I mean, President Trump has had nothing to hide. He's very upfront about it, and there are people who watch all the ethics of that, but I mean, I've got to be concerned with running the House of Representatives, and that's why
he should be press secretary, Mike Johnson, with answers like that. You know, there's a reason why Carolyn Levitt has that job, and it's because Carolyn Levitt would respond to that question by calling the reporter who asked them about Trump's corruption a, like, liberal shill, and I don't know, she'd probably call him a Jew or something. Mike Johnson's like, well, Trump's corruption's open, so, and I mean, it's not, right? Like, a lot of Trump's corruption is open, but the meme coin thing is extremely, is anyone else getting tired of the meme coin thing because the existence of the term meme coin implies that there are coins that aren't memes? Like, Bitcoin is also a meme coin. Bitcoin is also just as much of a, like, they're all exactly the same. There's no meaningful difference between any of them. They're speculative vehicles with little oversight or regulation that are used as rug pulls by the people who have leverage over their value. It's not, like, there's no difference, really. They're all the same thing. It's like, I feel like the use of the term meme coin kind of like legitimizes, I don't know, Bitcoin, right? Because it's like, oh, well, no, Bitcoin's different. How? Bitcoin's just larger. I don't know, whatever. No, incredibly funny answer there. Incredibly funny stuff. By the way, it is worth noting, like, there is a kind of truth to what Mike Johnson is saying here, which is that a lot of Americans kind of like open, brazen corruption because people like celebrity, people like main characters. People like seeing people they like do well, right? Now, the treating of politics as celebrity is definitely something that the right does a lot more aggressively because they're in, you know, a cult. And for the most part, the Democrats aren't. I mean, there are still some like dead-end Democrats right now on Twitter who are arguing that Joe Biden actually didn't show any signs of mental decline when he failed to recognize the man in front of him, George Clooney, at the George Clooney sponsored fundraiser. There are definitely some people on the left, you know what I mean, not Republicans, who are in a cult, but this is pretty much a mostly right-wing phenomena at this point. And they like that element of celebrity. And to be honest with you, like I sympathize with it to an extent because I can imagine like a hypothetical political leader who I really like, who's very bombastic and very aggressive. And do I really mind the idea of that person kind of like living it up lavishly? Well, obviously I don't like corruption, but you know, the idea of the aesthetic of them, you know, living it up isn't really something that bothers me as long as they did the things that I wanted them to do. You know, I wouldn't want people to be able to buy them, but would I mind the idea of them having or enjoying great wealth and privilege? If they're repping our cause, I mean, I guess not so much. It's sort of like the polar opposite of the left's cult of asceticism, where sometimes, you know, it feels like on left Twitter, you know, you're going to get canceled if you ever take a fit pic and you have like a pair of designer boots you purchased for $40 on Grailed or Depop, and people are going to be like, aren't those designer boots? And then you're canceled, right? It's over. Your career is done. You might as well pack up shop and go home at that point. I'm not saying what Republicans are doing here is justified. I'm just saying that it stems largely from the celebritydom. Anyway, finish the clip.
Congressional oversight, though, that's the congressional responsibility, isn't it?
Congress has oversight responsibility, but I think, so far as I know, the ethics are all being followed. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, Congress has responsibility on ethics oversight for the president, but also it's not my domain and I don't know. But also, even though I don't know and it's not my domain, I'm sure everything's hunky-dory. Right. We get it. We understand. We know the deal. We understand. Thank you. It's very stupid. It's very, very stupid. It is. We're in the shit, aren't we? We really are. It's a level of corruption that rivals or exceeds the tin pod dictatorships that we often use in a kind of like racist comparative statement. Listen, I'll tell you this much, right? Like, we can no longer say, oh, this is like a third world country. Oh, this is like a dictatorship. Oh, this is like you know, people say like this is like an African warlord. Well, no, actually, it's like America. It's like America now. That's just what it is. What's analysis? How do you do analysis? I don't know how to do analysis. I don't know what my job is, I'll be honest with you. Mike Johnson clearly doesn't. Goodbye.